Let's be honest. Most men today have no clue how to get a woman truly attracted to them, especially one who isn't already interested. The game has changed. Women have more options, more attention, and more filters than ever before. A swipe here, a like there, and you're competing with guys you've never met. That's the harsh truth. But here's what most men don't realize. Attraction doesn't have to be mutual at first. It can be created. You don't need to be her type. You don't need money, looks, or status. What you need is control, presence, and strategy. Women are emotional creatures. They respond to what they feel in the moment. That's your edge. You're not trying to force anything. You're creating an energy that she can't ignore, even if she thought she wasn't interested. Too many guys chase women who show zero effort back. They think attention will win her. It won't. You have to flip the game. You attract her by pulling her in, not pushing yourself onto her. You make her feel something different, something she's not getting from every other guy throwing themselves at her. That's how you stand out. If she wasn't interested before, good. That means she hasn't seen the real you yet. Once she does, everything changes. In this guide, I'm giving you 7 powerful tactics to turn cold interest into burning desire. This isn't theory, it's what works in the modern world, and it works fast. If you apply these moves with confidence and consistency, you'll be the man she can't ignore, even if she once overlooked you completely. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my exclusive online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course goes deeper, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. We just finished section 5 in the course, and you won't find this information on videos on my channel. It's easy to access with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or click the link in the description to enroll now and improve your dating life. 1. Be unavailable to her, but available to yourself. If a woman isn't interested in you, the worst thing you can do is make yourself completely available to her. That's exactly what 99% of guys do. They think, if I show her I care, if I stay around, if I keep texting and checking in, she'll eventually come around. No, she won't. What she will do is lose even the little bit of respect she may have had for you. You can't chase her. You have to chase your own life harder than you'd ever chase a woman. That's what flips the dynamic. When you start showing a woman, without words, that your time is limited, your focus is tight, and your mind is on your own goals, she starts to feel that gap. And trust me, women notice when you're not chasing them. That's when curiosity kicks in. If you've been too available, it's not too late. Just pull back, not in a childish, passive-aggressive way. You don't ignore her just to get a reaction. You ignore her because you're recentering your focus. You stop showing up. You stop reaching out. You stop making her the center of your thoughts. You shift all that energy into your gym routine, your business, your appearance, your craft, anything that improves your value and demands your attention. This isn't about being cold. It's about being difficult to access. Think of it this way. She doesn't chase you because she already knows where to find you. You've made it too easy. When you become hard to reach, not because you're playing games, but because you're genuinely busy creating something powerful in your life, she starts to feel left out of your world. And women hate being left out of something they don't control. The biggest mistake guys make is acting emotionally when a woman pulls away. They panic. They double down on effort. But real masculine energy doesn't chase after approval. It moves forward and lets others decide if they want to keep up or fall behind. That's attractive, that's rare, and here's the twist. When she sees you're not chasing, she'll start wondering why. She'll think about you more than she ever did when you were blowing up her phone. You don't need to convince her with words. You convince her with your absence, and more importantly, what you're doing during that absence. If she wasn't interested in you before, she will be once she senses that you're not affected by it. That's when you shift from just another guy in her messages to the man who's too focused to notice she ever doubted you. That energy is what pulls her in. 2. Create tension, then disappear. Tension is one of the most powerful forces in attraction. It's what makes her think about you long after you're gone. If a woman isn't initially interested in you, the last thing you want to do is play it safe. Being too polite, too agreeable, too predictable, it kills all excitement. She forgets you as quickly as she met you. But when you learn to create just the right amount of emotional tension and then pull away, that's when the game flips. You need to understand something deep here. Women are addicted to emotional spikes. The feeling of wondering, the not knowing, the unpredictability, it keeps them engaged. That's why the guy who teases her a little, flirts with confidence, gives her some attention, and then vanishes is always in her head. She didn't get closure. She didn't get comfort. She got curiosity. That's the hook. So how do you create tension? You flirt, but you don't flatter. You look at her like she's desirable, but you don't act like she's a prize. You challenge her thoughts. You don't agree with everything she says. You make her feel like you've got your own standards and that she hasn't fully met them yet. That's when her ego kicks in. She starts trying to prove herself, even without realizing it. And then you disappear. You don't text her every day. You don't comment on her stories. You don't sit around waiting for a response. You give her something to feel, then you give her space to miss it. That's the balance. Most guys either overdo the attention or they withdraw completely without creating any spark first. You do both. You give her a taste, then take it away. That's how tension works. This isn't about being toxic or manipulative. It's about understanding female psychology. If you give her all your energy at once, she doesn't value it. But when you create a moment that stays with her, something playful, intense, slightly mysterious, and then you leave her with it, she starts to crave more. She replays the moment. She starts asking herself questions. That's when attraction starts forming on its own, even if it wasn't there before. Here's the truth. You don't need to impress her. You need to intrigue her. And tension leads to intrigue. If every interaction with you is smooth, safe, and available 24/7, you're not giving her anything to emotionally respond to. But if she feels like being around you is a little unpredictable, a little thrilling, even slightly frustrating, that's when she becomes emotionally invested without even realizing why. So don't rush the process. Be the man who knows how to stir something up in her and then walks away with no explanation. That's when she starts chasing, not because you forced her to, but because she needs to feel that tension again. 3. Never show her she's the goal. Here's the hard truth. The moment a woman feels like she's the mission, she loses attraction. It doesn't matter how nice you are, how loyal you plan to be, or how much you think she deserves to be treated like a queen. If she senses that everything you're doing is built around trying to win her over, you've already lost her. And if she wasn't interested in you to begin with, now you've made it even easier for her to ignore you. A woman wants to feel something real, not be the center of a man's world before she's earned it. When she sees you making her the focus of your life, your time, and your emotions, it doesn't make her feel special. It makes her feel pressure. She feels like you're giving her a job to fill, and she didn't sign up for it. That's why men who come off too eager or too invested too soon always get left unread, ghosted, or put in the friend zone. You didn't give her room to want you. You already handed yourself over. You need to start moving like you're the goal. Not in an arrogant way, but in a grounded, self-assured, masculine way. You walk in a room like you have purpose. You speak like a man who's going somewhere. You look at her like you appreciate her beauty, but you don't lose your backbone just because she smiled at you. That's the energy that gets her attention. That's what makes her stop and wonder, why is he not trying to impress me like the others? When you remove her from the top of your priority list and put your mission, your passion, and your personal evolution first, you immediately become more desirable. She can feel when your attention is genuine, but not desperate. She can tell when your time is valuable, and you're choosing to spend it, not begging for it to be accepted. That's powerful. And when you talk to her, you don't talk like you're trying to convince her to like you. You talk like a man who's already complete. And if she fits into your life, great. But if she doesn't, you're still good. That attitude flips the script. It forces her to consider your value, not just feel like she's being pursued for hers. This is where most guys mess up. They think being overly available, overly affectionate, and overly interested will win her heart. But that just communicates neediness. Women don't respond to need. They respond to strength, clarity, and direction. So, be the man who walks away when the energy is off. Be the man who's not afraid to let her go. That confidence shows her you're not trying to get her. You're just living fully, and if she wants to be part of that, she has to meet you at your level. 4. Stop seeking her approval. Approval seeking kills attraction. It's one of the fastest ways to make a woman lose interest, especially if she didn't have much interest in the first place. Most men don't even realize they're doing it. They think they're just being nice, respectful, or attentive. But what they're really doing is performing, hoping she'll notice and reward them. And women can smell that energy from a mile away. When you seek a woman's approval, you're putting her on a pedestal. You're handing her the power and saying, "Please choose me." That energy makes her feel like she's the one leading the dance. That's not attractive. It's pressure-free, challenge-free, and forgettable. She can't respect a man who waits for her to validate him before he feels like he's enough. You've got to flip that dynamic. Instead of trying to win her over, you become the man who doesn't need to be liked. You speak your truth even if it risks turning her off. You disagree when you mean it. You walk away when she crosses a boundary. You don't adjust who you are just to make her comfortable. And most importantly, you don't wait for her reactions to define how you move. That's strength. That's self-respect. And that's the kind of energy that makes women sit up and pay attention. Stop overthinking your texts. Stop asking if she's mad. Stop trying to prove you're different. You don't need her to confirm your worth. You confirm it yourself every single day by how you walk, talk, think, and live. That's what makes you magnetic. That's what flips the attraction in your favor, even when she wasn't feeling you at first. There's nothing more attractive than a man who moves through the world like he belongs there. A man who isn't afraid to be misunderstood. A man who knows that not every woman will like him, and that's exactly the point. He doesn't need them to. He knows who he is. He's not afraid of silence. He's not afraid of rejection. And because of that, women sense that they can't manipulate him. That's what makes you stand out. If you want to attract a woman who isn't interested, the last thing you do is chase her validation. You don't laugh too hard at her jokes. You don't soften your opinions just to avoid disagreement. You don't live in fear of saying the wrong thing. You let her see the real you, and if she doesn't like it, that's fine. You'd rather lose her than lose yourself. That mindset alone will separate you from 99% of the men she's ever met. And in a world full of people trying to please her, the man who doesn't need to will always be the one she remembers. 5. Be unpredictable on purpose. One of the greatest mistakes men make with women, especially those who aren't initially interested, is being predictable. Predictability is comfort, yes, but comfort is not attraction. If she can read your next move like a script, you've already lost her emotional attention. A woman needs to feel something unexpected to become intrigued. Routine doesn't move her emotions. Mystery does. Now, this doesn't mean you act like a clown or do random things just to seem edgy. It means you operate in a way where she can't fully figure you out. When she thinks she knows what you'll do, you break the pattern. When she thinks she has your time guaranteed, you make her wait. When she believes she's got you emotionally locked in, you pull back just enough to make her feel uncertain. That unpredictability creates emotional highs and lows, which fuels emotional investment. And once emotions get involved, attraction follows. Look at how most guys behave once they're interested in a woman. They follow the same tired routine. They text every morning, respond instantly, compliment her non-stop, agree with everything, ask about her day like they're applying for the boyfriend role. There's nothing wrong with showing interest, but when it becomes consistent and expected, it stops creating excitement. It becomes dull. She knows the game, and she's not playing. Now picture the opposite. You text her with energy and charm, then go silent for a day. You make a confident statement that she doesn't expect. You flirt, then switch topics like it's no big deal. You give her attention, Then suddenly shift your focus to your own priorities. She starts wondering about you. She gets confused, in a good way. Why is he not like the others? That's the seed of attraction. She's no longer in control of the rhythm. You are. This doesn't mean you're inconsistent or flaky. It means your presence comes with weight. You're not always available. Your mood isn't always the same. You're calm and composed, but your actions carry surprise. She can't rely on you to behave like every other man she's met. And that's exactly why you stand out. Women don't chase predictability. They chase mystery, energy shifts, emotional intensity. You give her that by being unpredictable with purpose. Think of attraction like a story. Every good story needs twists. If she already knows how yours ends, why would she keep reading? But when you're the man who keeps her guessing, what's he thinking? Why didn't he reply? What did he mean by that? You become the story she keeps returning to. You live rent-free in her mind, and that's when the woman who wasn't interested starts looking at you differently. Be bold enough to break the pattern. Don't offer her the experience she expects. Offer her something new, something unstable, something thrilling. That's what turns attention into desire, and it's completely in your control. 6. Trigger her emotions, not her logic. You cannot reason a woman into wanting you. You cannot convince her with facts, logic, or carefully structured arguments. If she's not interested, she already knows that. Trying to talk her into attraction is like trying to light a fire with ice. It doesn't work because that's not how attraction is built. Attraction is not a checklist. It's a feeling. And feelings are triggered emotionally, not logically. This is where a lot of men fail. They try to present themselves like a resume. They talk about their job, their goals, how stable they are, how respectful they can be. They try to show her that they're a good man, as if being a good man automatically makes a woman desire you. It doesn't. A woman may appreciate those traits, but they don't stir her soul. They don't raise her pulse. They don't make her imagine you. And if you're not sparking any emotional reaction, she'll stay uninterested no matter how qualified you are. You want her to feel something: intrigue, curiosity, tension, frustration, excitement, laughter, even slight irritation at times. If a woman is emotionally reacting to you, whether it's confusion, wonder, or passion, she's engaged. The moment you stop stimulating her emotions is the moment she forgets you exist. Think about this. A woman can be completely uninterested in a man who has everything on paper, but wildly attracted to a man who drives her crazy. Why? Because the second guy moves her emotions. He surprises her. He challenges her. He doesn't make sense. And that's what makes her obsessed. His presence creates a storm, and she keeps coming back to feel it again. That's emotional gravity, and that's your job if you want her attention. To trigger her emotions, you have to be bold with your energy. Say things with confidence that most men wouldn't dare. Tease her in a way that makes her react. Flirt with a smirk that says you're not trying too hard. Pull away when she starts expecting attention. Make her wonder where your head is. Keep her on her emotional toes. That tension, the not knowing, keeps her locked in. This doesn't mean you play mind games or manipulate. It means you stop being safe and start being impactful. You start thinking like a man who wants to be felt, not just heard. You build moments that stick in her memory. Because the truth is, she's not attracted to how perfect you are. She's attracted to how you make her feel. You are not applying for a job. You are creating a connection that hits her nervous system in ways she doesn't expect. When you stop trying to prove yourself and start triggering emotional waves, everything shifts. She may not have been interested at first, but now she feels something. And once a woman starts feeling something, she starts questioning everything she thought she knew about you. 7. Make her feel your absence. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make with a woman who isn't showing interest is to pull back completely. Not to punish her, not to manipulate her, but to remind her of one thing: you are not going to wait around forever. When you make her feel your absence, you force her to feel the gap where your presence used to be. And that space speaks louder than any text, compliment, or conversation ever could. Most men panic when a woman isn't showing interest. They start pushing harder, more messages, more attention, more effort. They think they're showing persistence, but in reality, they're showing neediness. They're proving that her lack of interest has control over them. That energy repels a woman instantly. She knows she's the prize in your eyes, and she hasn't even earned it. Now picture the opposite. Instead of begging for her attention, you disappear. You stop reaching out. You stop checking in. You focus on yourself. You show through your silence that you have a life, one that doesn't revolve around her. That absence creates curiosity. She starts to wonder, why did he stop chasing me? Is he over me? Was he more valuable than I thought? That internal conflict is what opens the door to new attraction. When you're constantly around, your presence becomes background noise. She doesn't feel the impact of your attention because it's always there. But when you remove it, suddenly she has room to feel what she lost. Women are emotional creatures, and sometimes they need that emotional contrast to realize who you are. The more powerfully you remove your energy, the more clearly she sees your worth. This doesn't mean you ghost her out of nowhere. It means you observe her behavior. If she's not reciprocating, if she's giving lukewarm energy, if she's distant, then you respond with distance of your own. You don't get emotional about it. You simply move on and do it completely. Not halfway, not with one foot in, fully. You stop initiating. You stop watching her stories. You stop making her feel like she has you in her back pocket. And you do it with confidence, not resentment. In the beginning, she may not react. That's fine. Stay silent. Let time work for you. While other men keep chasing, your absence becomes noticeable. She may start thinking about you during quiet moments. She might revisit your old messages. She might check your profile to see what you're up to. She might test the waters by sending a casual, "Hey." That's the shift. That's when she goes from indifference to interest. Your absence is your leverage. It shows you don't need her attention to feel valuable. It tells her you're not desperate. And it gives her the space to realize what you brought to the table. When she feels that void and sees that you didn't chase her to fill it, she starts chasing you to bring it back. And that's how you flip the game completely, without saying a word. Attracting any woman, even one who's not initially interested, isn't about chasing, convincing, or proving yourself. It's about stepping into your masculine power, controlling the energy you bring, and knowing how to trigger emotion instead of seeking approval. The moment you stop focusing on her interest and start living with boldness, mystery, and unapologetic confidence, everything changes. She'll feel it without knowing why. You become the man she can't ignore, the one who doesn't beg for her time, but commands her attention. Don't just want her, be the man she wants. That's how you turn indifference into desire and attraction into pursuit. And remember, if you're serious about mastering the dating game, don't miss out on my exclusive online course. We go beyond what's covered in these videos, giving you powerful insights from the first approach to lasting attraction. It's easy to enroll with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or simply click the link in the description to secure your spot. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now and start transforming your dating life today. I want to especially appreciate you for taking your time to watch till the end of this video. I hope the video helps you improve every aspect of your relationship with women. Until next time, this is Stoic Approach to Life.